we want to change the functionality of a page. Okay, we want to change the functionality of a page. That is why we do controller extension. Now most of the times page properties should be changed by the personalizations, but in some cases we have a complex requirement, and in those cases it is very useful to change the page definition at runtime by controller extension. Advantage of course controller extension is that controller extension can be done at responsibility, function or site level. Okay, let us have a look. Let's have a look. I'm going to run a page in JDeveloper. Okay, I'm going to run one of these pages in JDeveloper, or you can run it from the application, doesn't matter, and we will find a way of extending the controller on one of the pages. Let us create a scenario. Okay, let's say that I'm searching for, I'm creating a click on update, or let us create an employee. Okay, let us create an employee, and what I want to do is, as soon as this page is displayed, I want to default a value of first name to Anil. Okay, I can do it through personalization as well, but I just want to show you the controller extension steps. That is why I am showing this. A simple example. Complicated examples can be many. We can change the email, we can hide the email address as well. Okay, we can do two things. Right now, again, in order to do any extension, first thing is about this page. I click on about this page and I find out the page name. Okay, so I find out the page name, and I can see that the controller involved here is create CO, and there is only one controller. Okay, so I need to make a note of these couple of things. I need to make sure that I have this with me, and I need to make sure I make a note of this. Okay, now I want to extend my controller. So first I have to create a custom controller. Okay, first thing is I create a custom controller. How do I create a custom controller? I will create a custom controller which is based on the standard controller. So when I create a custom controller, okay, I will create something called as xxfao creates CO. Okay, this will be extending the standard. All right. Okay, now why do I have to extend the standard controller? Can anyone tell me? Why do I have to extend the standard controller? Exactly, so that you have the standard functionality as well. So whatever the standard functionality is doing, we will let that also happen, and then we can add some extra functionality. That is why we extend the standard controller, because once we create the custom controller, we will then replace the standard controller by our custom controller. When we replace the standard one by a custom one, we want to retain whatever the standard one is doing as well.
Actually, the extension can be announced if I don't want to replace the standard one. I just want to remove some of the properties that come from one of the classes, and then extend that and then use a different product.
Sorry, come again.
And if I'm creating a project, then I know that some of the functionalities are more or less like the one that I already available in the system, I want
Yeah, that's a very valid point. What you can do is you can create an instance of that controller, or you can create an instance of that class. It's like normal programming. If you want to call one PL SQL API from another API, you can simply call that, so long as the method you want to call is public method, right? Same concept applies here. You can, but at the same time you will still extend the parent controller. You will always base it on a parent controller, but as you want, you can still create instances of other objects and use them. Of course, you can definitely use them. Okay, so I'm going to create a controller. But my controller is going to be in, so this is the standard controller, right? And the package name for the standard controller is this. In my case, what I'll do is I will what is happening here? Okay, in my case I will create xxfao dot oracle dot apps dot web UI. So my new controller will be this. Okay, this will be my new controller. Alright, so the package of my new controller is going to be this. Now I go back and I say right click and create a new file. It will be a Java class. I create a new class, it will be Java class, and I will give it a package which is I need to copy this now. What's wrong? Something's gone wrong. I'm going to restart the JDeveloper now, and once I restart the JDeveloper, I will now create a new Java class. Based on this information. Okay, so where were we? We were wanting to create a new controller. So I right click and create new Java class, click on OK, and my class name is going to be xxfao create co xx. Just copy paste this. Okay, so I'm just copy pasting stuff here. Okay, so now I can copy paste from here, which is great. So I do this. So that is my name of the class. Okay, my package name is going to be the custom package which I want, which is going to be this one. And it extends something. What does it extend? It extends my standard controller, and I can search in the hierarchy, and I can go to Oracle apps, it's Oracle apps AK solution employee web UI, AK solution employee web UI. Okay, so I'm selecting my parent class. I've selected that. Okay, so here what I've done is I have got a custom class now which extends the standard class. I also need to make sure that I can see this class, and there's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. This is web UI, sorry. Okay, so let's say I want to default the value of one field and I want to hide the value of another field. So in which method will I put this code? Correct, process request.
Excuse me, you're using another package in order to keep separated the standard functionalities and the external environment.
100%, yes. Okay, so here I need to do a couple of things. I need to get a handle to the bean. Okay, now to get a handle to the bean, I did some about this page thing, and the page which I am interested is create PG. So first I need to get a handle of the first name bean. Okay, this is a web bean. So how do I get a handle to the first name? The style is message text input. So I can write a code here to get a handle of first name field. So I will do OA message text input bean. How do I know OA message text input bean? Because the style is message text input. So I will put a text called bean in the end and OA in the front. Okay, that is how you find the corresponding class for any style of the item. If it is message style text, it will be OA message style text bean. Okay, if it is table, it will be OA table bean, right? That is how you find the corresponding class. And you can see on the left hand side, I can see this torch appearing here. I can click on the torch and I can say import this class. Okay, so I import this class and I'll say it's f name, okay, equal to, and I have to typecast the result of the find. See, I'll explain this to you in a bit. I'll say web bean dot find index child recursive first name. Okay, what I've done is webbean.findIndexChild recursive returns a generic bean item. I have to typecast that into the message text input bean. Then I can change the properties. I can do whatever I want now with this. I can do fname dot set text okay. Similarly, I can do the same thing for the employee email field. I want to hide the employee email field. I can put some if conditions if I want. Okay, I can put some if conditions and then I can say employee email. I copy paste the code, employee email, emp mail, and I will say set rendered equal to false. Okay, so I've got a custom controller. Now if I run the page, what will happen? Any ideas?
The main standard controller will be fired and this will be fired.
Correct, but how will the system know that this controller has to be fired? Yes.
So the main class first will be fired and whatever subclasses you have.
Yes. Why will the main class be fired? Well, because yes, see, the main class is attached to the page. That's right. And the main class, but we are going to replace the main class with the custom class. Okay, that's the step which is missing. We have to do that, and that is why the custom one will be fired. Main class will never get fired once we do the replacement. So let's do the replacement first, then it will be easy to understand. Okay, so in order to do the replacement, let us run the page first. Yeah, let's run the page first. Okay, this is the page. See, at the moment nothing is happening, and the reason is simple, because we have not yet told OA framework or the page that we want to replace it by the new controller. And once we replace it with the new controller, then what you're saying will happen. The standard one will be called, because we are calling the super, right? We're calling the super on the top. So I know my controller is here, so I click on personalize page, and I can see that this is the controller, right? But I can change it at site level or organization or responsibility level, whatever level I want to change it, I can change it. And I can specify that my new controller is this XXFAO create CO. Okay, so I have done the personalization of the page, and I have gone to that region top level, and I'm saying that my custom controller should be called. Now you can see that the first name has started appearing, my default value. Employee name has disappeared. Okay, if I do about this page, I can see that the controller now attached is my controller, and my controller has a process request. My custom controller has a process request which first calls the super, which means the standard controller gets executed first. Standard controller process request get executed, and then the custom code. You will notice that I have not done anything for process form request here. Have I got process form request in my controller here? No, I haven't, isn't it? So will I be able to save the record? What do you think? Why? Yes, the main class has it. That's right. We can apply. Yeah, that's mine. Okay, because even though I don't have process form request, the process form request of the super has been picked up, which means that you will, the message here is that in your custom code, whether you are extending the controller or view object or entity object or application module, whatever, you only write that method which you want to customize. Everything else gets picked up from parent method. So you will only write 1 or 2 procedures max. That's it, depending upon how small or big your customization is going to be for that page. Okay, any questions on controller extension? No questions on controller extension? Everything is clear? Yeah? How do we deploy this extension? Let yes, Java top. Yes, and what else? Yes, personalization as well. Export, and that's it. Simple, isn't it? How do I disable this temporarily? If Oracle says that your custom controller is causing the problem, you have to prove that no, it is not causing the problem. You can set a profile option, disable self-service personalization to yes, clear the cache, and then all your personalizations disappear, all your extensions also disappear, because your extension as well is stored in the personalization layer. So your product is back to standard, and you can reproduce the problem, right? And then you can tell Oracle that, look guys, the problem is with the standard functionality. Any questions?
It's not very clear. When you spoke the new controller to the personalization, then how do I activate the personalization? How do I activate the new controller?
When you personalize the page, you go to the region where the standard controller is attached, and you say that you want to replace the standard controller by your custom controller.
Which I do in locally.
Doesn't matter whether you do it on JDeveloper or whether you run it from system. All personalizations directly go into the database. 100% always. Should I show you? Yeah, I can show you. Even though I'm running everything from JDeveloper, right? I was trying to say that assume that this is running from the eBusiness Suite, okay? But now if I go here, okay, set server output on size. I first list the personalizations exec jdr underscore utils dot list customizations. Okay. Did I change the controller at organization level? Let's see. Exec jdr underscore utils dot print document. Okay, can you see this? Yeah? Yep. Excellent. Any more questions on controller extension? Substitutions are for business components for Java, which is substitution is for application module, entity object and view object. The steps are exactly the same. I will be showing you one of the substitutions. Okay, but steps are exactly the same. I will show that. I'll give a demonstration now, in fact, of view. I'll take an example of view object extension.
By definition, this extension can be only applied on pages and controller, and everything else extension or called like substitution.
Even substitution is called extension. We can call substitution extension as well. Substitution word is used for business components for Java, where you substitute. Yeah, see here we are not actually replacing a controller. We are saying that at the organization level, the controller, my controller will be this. At the, but reason we call substitution for BC4J is because view object, application module and entity object can be replaced only at one level, which is at site level. That is why we call it substitution.
So if we change the select within a view object, it's going to be reflected throughout all the...
Yes, yes, 100%. 100%. That is another risk of view object extension because it affects everything. With controller, the beauty is that you can specify your extension for specific responsibility.
So extension on controllers.
According to Oracle, you should not do that, but everyone does controller extension. Everyone does controller extension. I haven't seen a single OA framework project where control extensions are not done.
According to Oracle, it's not a good way to extend.
That's the official word, but even Oracle consultants go to site and do extensions of controller. You have to do it. You have no choice. I'll give you a simple example. In iExpenses, when you create expense item, okay, you have to there is a default cost center. There is a cost center field, and it gets defaulted from the employee's record. And if you want to change, override, every single implementation almost tries to change that logic. They try to do a personalization, it doesn't work because the final piece of code that gets executed is the controller code, and Oracle themselves are defaulting the cost center via the process request of the controller on that page. Well, that is happening. So the only way you can change that logic is by extending the controller. You have no choice. Okay. Any questions? Further questions? All right, I will close this topic of control.